It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the AMP Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
That music. It's funny. Ever since we stopped playing that, they've gone back to winning 6 in a row.
You think that's what it is?
I think that's what it is. And somebody moved my shoes, my sneakers. Do not touch my sneakers.
I had to mop the floor
Do
underneath
not
your sneakers.
Touch my sneakers. Do not touch them.
I just zhuzhed them a little bit.
No, and I have put a booby trap. For whoever moves my sneakers, you're going to get hit with some ink stuff.
Did you
Do
ever
not
see
move my sneakers.
this show, Murders in the Building, with
No.
Steve Martin and Martin Short?
Yeah.
So they booby trap someone with glitter. So they open up like this booby trap, and the guy that does it gets covered in glitter, and you always know who it is because there's always fragments of glitter stuck to the
Are you
perpetrator.
superstitious?
Me? Don't step on a crack. Don't walk under a ladder. Black cats.
So you-
Superstitious.
yes?
Do you know who we have in studio today?
Superstitious.
We got superstition in the house.
But are you superstitious?
Kind of a little bit, but I will
So
change
then
my
why
socks and
will you
underwear.
move my shoes?
I will change my socks and underwear. Let's put
Those
it that
shoes
way.
were given to me when the season started. Somebody had them, they were wrong size, they gave them to me, Gina Bella. And I put them in this bag, and I put them on a few times, and the streak started. And I must have been in first place ever since the day she gave me those shoes. And they say New York Mets, and they're colorful. And I have them in a situation place. I come in one day and somebody moves my
Yeah,
shoes.
I found garbage in it.
I don't care. Leave
next to
it
the
alone.
garbage can.
They lose 3 in a row. They lose to the Cubs. Of all teams, the Cubs. That's a team? So I put them back and I says, anybody touches my shoes, and you're going to have a problem with me. Do not touch my shoes. Because we are coming down to the last 2 weeks. And the Braves won't go away. They're still there, 1 game behind. Wow. Atlanta, September 30, the first and the second, whatever it is, those 3 games are going to determine.
Could be a Subway Series.
Series?
No. Mets, they're not going to get past the Dodgers. But it's okay. Because we're close. The Yankees, you got Mr. Judge, is that his name?
Judge.
He's going to break the record, most home runs. Now, let me ask you, Bonds never broke 61 in a year, right?
No, but he leads the most home runs.
Yeah, but that we don't acknowledge that because,
Him and the steroids.
yeah. And what about all the other guys? Nobody ever hit 62, right?
No.
That we know of.
What is the record in the American League ever?
What is it in the National League?
No, I don't remember.
Because this guy is going to blow this thing to 70, 80. Look at even the books are telling you the truth.
Look at Pujols.
Yeah,
He's 40 years old. He's going to hit. He's got 698 home runs. He's
going to hit 700 at the age of 45.
Yeah, he's 40. He's still going.
And he's retiring. He doesn't care how many he hits. But what a way to go out. Hitting 700 home runs in your career. You know what that means? That's like winning.
700?
Yeah, that's like you winning an Oscar.
Yeah, 1 in a million, right?
I mean, you don't expect to do that.
Happy Wednesday to you.
Hitting lotto.
Did you say hello to our friends in New York?
Yes, New
New
York.
Jersey.
It must be great to be in New York right now, because if you're a Met fan or a Yankee fan, right now the Giants are 2-0. The Giants are 2-0. The G-men, I can't stand them, are 2-0.
I think everyone in here is from New York, maybe except Paola. She's a great And she's laughing. We got Bird Talk Radio in the other room.
Jets are 1-1 with the miraculous finish.
What happened Monday night? The Eagles.
They won big
They did
against the
win?
Vikings.
Josh, that's a good thing.
You got 11 wins this week. I can't stand you.
Wow. I
You
should
don't
ask-
even know football. I end up with 6 wins. She gets 11.
I'm doing all these things right on Friday. I think I was getting ready for the weekend. And you said to me, you start reading these names. So I just gave you names. I got 11 of those.
No, yes. You know what the funniest thing is? She goes like this. Let me ponder.
Let me think.
Like
Oh,
she's thinking about. She doesn't know what an eagle is or a Viking is.
in my intuition.
Can I get the winning? Can I get the winners from you? From
Allie,
you?
you know the winning number?
Do you know the winners? It doesn't work that way.
We had a great show lined up for you today. New York, New Jersey, WGHT. Give us a call, 888-994-4995. We have a day, I think, with the angels, intuition, spirit. My archangel Gabriel always is right here with me.
Studio A, by the way.
Studio A. We've got psychic speaker, world-renowned speaker with us, Hallie Elise. We've got author Frank Ruffolo. We've got our in-house senior solutions Luhu advisor with us, Paul Solomon. And we've got Paula joining us of Zamboni Couture. So I have to tell you, I never thought I could ever afford couture clothing until I met Paula. And Paula is so incredibly lovely. She's going to show us how to add a pop of color. As women, we can step into our empowerment, even red lipstick if we want. Flowy, versatile, can go with any outfit, or you
What do
can
you
layer
mean,
it.
even red lipstick?
Even red lipstick.
that's-
Because women are afraid to, they feel like black is slimming, black shirt, black pants, and it just
So they
black.
won't wear
So
red
they don't
lipstick?
wear red lipstick because it might draw attention. But we're here to start a new segment with Paula on stepping into your power and saying, you know what, I can wear red, I can wear color, and be authentically who you want to be. You don't care who
Remember
people
that
think of
commercial,
you.
Simply Irresistible? They all wear red lipstick in that black jumpsuit.
Do
all
men
12
think
of
red
them.
lipstick is sexy?
Oh, yeah.
Paul's not shaking his head.
I'm not saying.
Frank is, Hallie is.
Absolutely. Red
It doesn't mean your
lips.
significant other is wearing it, but when you see someone with red lips, you think, oh my gosh, she's empowered, she's sexy, she's got chutzpah to wear
Yeah,
it.
you want to grab her and hoopsa her.
Hopes her?
Yeah.
I got it. I agree with
Friday, I got to you until Monday to get you Jewish. Hopes her.
Hoopsa. I'm
Chupsa.
bringing Presidente to your house for lunch.
Yeah, he wants to bring Presidente shoulder
I'm
to
not
my house.
Jewish, so I can bring whatever I
Rosh
want,
Hashanah.
right?
Rosh Hashanah, you have your challah and your honey.
That's what Alana said.
First of all, I can't eat
you.
honey.
Your gefilte fish.
I can't eat that.
I know,
I
we
heard
gotta get
about
you
that. I ain't
sugar-free.
doing that. That stuff is gray in a
Chopped
can.
liver, not
Hey,
chopped
come have
liver.
some brisket.
No, I'm going with Josh and I are going to Presidente. We're going to bring some Latino food.
So my Latina daughter-in-law is bringing brisket empanadas
There you
and
go.
apple pie.
There
She's
you go.
giving us a little bit of a Cuban flair to the Jewish
So
holiday.
I can bring pasteles and stuff like that.
Yes,
Oh, and bananas.
and bananas.
What?
Kugel. He doesn't know
Do
what
I
that
like
is.
Google?
Kugel.
Google, not Google.
Hey,
With a kugel, what is that?
oh, it's yummy.
Is it sweet?
Yes.
Kugel, potato kugel. It doesn't
That
have-
isn't food. What is it with you guys?
It can
Carbs.
be savory.
No. I'm bringing Latino food. I can have pastry, maybe a dessert.
Yes.
You guys eat the dessert as the meal with the
Yes.
honey and the apples and the grapes and the. I can't eat all that
Here,
stuff.
It's Monday.
I'll be like this all day. Sugar rush.
But I'm excited. So we've got a great show lined
Paul
up for you
laughs.
today.
Paul's been there.
Absolutely.
Paul says he ain't lying, man.
Here's my Monday. Here's my contemplation. What restaurant do I ordered in from, and how many days' notice do they
That's
need?
another thing. My mother used
Allie's
to.
laughing.
My mother used to cook the
Oh,
meal.
no.
You gotta cook the meal.
I'm like, do I go to 18th Street down the street? Do I head over to 2nd Street Bagels and Deli? Do I make platters?
This is like a thing.
You need time to cook.
Yeah, start today.
on.
Start
You're on.
today.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're on.
Start today.
Start today cooking or making phone calls to order?
Cooking.
That's
Listen,
why I
used
said
to
how
start
many are
a week
coming.
in advance
To do what? Make the phone call?
for Rosh Hashanah dinner or Pesach.
First of
or,
all, you're never gonna get anybody to deliver. You're way too late in the game. You're gonna have to make it.
2nd Street will deliver to me.
What is it that you're gonna order?
What do
Honey?
you want for
buy
lunch?
that. Next,
What do you want for lunch?
I'm bringing Puerto Rican food.
So I actually have to make a brisket for Sunday
What are you
night.
gonna make? An apple?
I got to make a brisket for Sunday
have
night
to have
go to my
brisket.
sister's. So
Absolutely.
I'm thinking
You go to Costco, you pick up a brisket, and you
Yes.
brisketize it.
I got to brisketize it exactly.
2 seconds. How long does it take to cook a
Five
brisket?
hours and
Like,
hours.
If I cook it tomorrow, would it be ready by Sunday?
Sure.
Yes.
Monday.
It's always better the next day, like Chinese food.
So you make it for Sunday, you leave it for the next day.
Exactly.
Why don't you have Chinese?
You could. Chinese Christmas? We
A
could
Chinese
totally
Christmas.
do that.
Or have a Puerto Rican Christmas. It's the same difference.
I know. We got to get into our show. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got Hallie Elise, Frank, Paul, and Paula. So stay tuned. 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we'll be right back.
Planning for the future should not be painful and needs to be discussed. From health, family, finances, allow qualified professionals to aid in your planning. Luhu Advisors have been serving South Florida for over 30 years. A licensed real estate broker, insurance agent, assisted living administrator, and certified senior advisor, Paul Solomon is the most qualified and well-rounded advisor for any task. Specializing in real estate, long-term care, life insurance and annuities, Social Security, government benefits, and senior housing. Luhu Advisors. Let us help you. Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Hi, I'm Dawn Clifford, owner and founder of Clifford Insurance Advisors. Established in November of 1999, we focus on mainly health, life, disability, Medicare, and long-term care insurance. Specifically for people aging into Medicare or the self-employed or even employee benefits for small business owners. We can be reached by phone number at 561-880-0391 or by email info@cliffordinsuranceadvisors.com. Visit our website at www.cliffordinsuranceadvisors.com and even visit Facebook, Clifford Insurance Advisors.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Welcome to Movies of Del Rey, a family-run movie theater that has been serving the Del Rey and Boca community for over 30 years. Open Wednesday through Sunday, Movies of Del Rey offers great admission prices, low concession prices, and quality customer service. Movies of Del Rey provides the quality of the big box theaters without the price tag. Movies of Del Rey provides new Hollywood content as well as new indie and independent movies. It truly is a hidden gem. Whether you're hosting a private event, party, or fundraiser, or are looking for your next date night activity, Movies of Delray is the perfect choice. Come on down to Movies of Delray, located at 7421 West Atlantic Ave in Delray Beach, or visit us online at moviesofdelray.com.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Think about a moment of joy. Elicit all of your senses. Savor. You have just experienced a quickie. Quiet, undisturbed, independent, concentrated, knowledgeable you. I am Hallie Elise, an intuitive mind-spirit mentor, acclaimed transformational speaker and author. In 1995, I began sharing my spiritual path publicly with a mission to help you appreciate and discover your innate gifts and to recognize your unique presence in this world. Contact me, Hallie Elise, to speak at your next event or for a private session. Call 561-755-2166 or visit hallieelise.com.
Yeah, I got to call you back. 888-994-4995 studio. You give us a call. So how'd you like, it's nice stuff, right?
That's a great commercial to put together for Hallie Elise, Intuitive Mind Spirit Mentor. You've known Hallie.
Too many years.
How many years have you known Hallie Elise?
My God, how many in 10 years?
I don't know. You're ancient, so figure it out.
We were at NN. How long were you at NN?
Well, longer than you, actually, about
Right,
18
and
years.
And I was there 14 years.
Wow.
So I've known you 12 years.
Is that amazing? I don't know where time has gone.
My God, I feel like a fossil.
But you've evolved from psychic, as your bread and butter, psychic, everything you do, to a mind spirit mentor. You also help people step into their power and their intuitions with coaching and classes. So give us a little bit of background on the evolution of Hallie Elise, psychic.
Okay, I think really the teaching, the sharing, the mentoring is something that I've always done. When I taught over at Nova and I taught meditation classes and stress management, I always spoke to the individuals about how they could tap into their own inner resources and make significant changes in their life, that it wasn't just about stress management. And I used to get a kick out of the class because inevitably somebody would say, "Are you psychic?" Because something would happen and without even thinking about it, something came out. However, I have found over the years that I really love speaking and I love interacting with audiences. I love seeing that light shine in their eyes when they get something. So it was a natural progression, not really anything forced. And I'm grateful to say I get to speak to large groups and make an impact. I spoke to a group the other evening and the audience was amazing because the facilitator who put it together said, "I don't know about this group. It's really an elder group. I don't think they're into this. I'm doing it because I like it." And I thought, uh-oh. And I said, well, you know what? I'm just going to go with the flow and see what happens. Without exaggeration, about 75% of the folks came up to me afterwards to say, "Thank you. I have a new perspective." That to me is huge.
What did you speak about that gave them a new perspective?
commingling the intellect and the intuition, because from the time we're small, we're taught to just think about things in a very concrete way, a very analytical way. And really, it is our intuitive self, if you will, the right hemisphere of our brain, that has the most impact in our life. Even problem solving, people think is a linear process. It's not. It's a creative process. And if we have the ability to navigate back and forth, to merge the two together, life is more significant. It's more joyful. We get to know things in advance. We get to make better decisions. We get to actually realize that what's going on in front of us is not all that's going on.
The different feelings that you have. It's kind of like I said to you today. We've met these contacts and people along the way. There's a reason they've been put in our path, and it's not a one-way. So when I said let's call them, it's a two-way, right? What we're receiving, we can now give back for them to receive. And I kind of felt as if that was the intuition of it, but also the physical realm of this person that has been introduced to us.
Well, the creative is the difference. It's funny. I've known Hallie from the very beginning, and it isn't until later on of knowing her that I even understood her. I didn't understand what
does that mean?
He didn't understand your commercial either. If you notice, he stepped back on that because he didn't understand where you've evolved to as a speaker
But you
and
see,
working with
to
other
them,
people.
it's evolved. To her, it's evolved. Since I first known you, it was a message you were telling me. So I used to say to Hallie, I want you to do readings. I don't want to do readings. And we used to go back and forth with this, remember? I said, Hallie, I don't want you to do this, taking down this walk down to become a better person. That's what I want to do. I wasn't listening because I saw her as something else. It isn't until afterwards, I think it was maybe the second or third or fourth tour, that I began to understand what she wanted to accomplish and the angle and the this and the that. And now it comes home with the commercial. So I'm not a woman, so I didn't understand what the woman was trying to say to me until now. You got it right away.
But you saw it as separate, and I think really that's the whole point.
It scared the hell out of me.
Separate.
Yes.
But it's not separate. Everybody knows the expression gut instinct, right? Nobody has a quandary with that. They're okay with it. Where do you think that comes from? That is intuitive guidance, or mother's intuition, or I don't know what happened. I just knew I had to do this, whatever this is. It's always with you. It's a matter of, are you tapping in occasionally, or are you aware of it consistently?
But that's the difference. And I was going to see her in action on the Tuesday night, and me, Gio, and Linda ran over to her place, and they locked us out. And we're banging on the door, and I think it was Tracy just kept going, and she says, "You're late." It's like 30 seconds. And we were late. We were late.
They were more than 30 seconds
we were.
late. And bottom line, I start on time, and when there's an audience who's paid to be there, they should be taken care
But
of.
we were going to go film it.
When you give your talks, you speak to corporate as well.
Correct.
Same approach with corporate?
Well, with corporate, it's a little bit different. I modify depending on the environment. With corporate, a lot of times they want team group activities, which is really a lot of fun because they gain a lot. However, but the thought process, if you will, is slightly different.
Being what? Are they looking at a change of perspective, productivity?
A lot of times it's productivity in the sense coming not from how productive they can be in the work, but how emotionally productive they are. Are they comfortable in what they're doing? Can they stay in a good mood? Are they able to relate to the other employees?
The
Can
whole
they work
workplace
with one
balance.
another? I mean, they bring you in not because everybody's, getting along and holding hands. There's probably some kind of disruption going on, which is very common in today's market. And I was going to ask you, how do you get all these different personalities together on the same page? That's not easy.
Actually, it is. You have fun. Think about this. If someone is laughing, if they are playing, even if they don't like the person sitting next to them, if they're busy having a good time, it's not a problem. And I do a lot of interactive practices where people can just relax. One of the things I thought was really interesting when I was leaving the other night's event was the director said to me, the men even interacted.
The men.
Because in all honesty, a lot of times the women dive in. This is natural to them. They want to participate. They want to see what's going on. And the gentlemen, they watch. The men even interacted because they were having a good time.
You know, it's interesting you say that because Paul and Frank here, and Paul we were introduced to from another client of yours, never ever thinking there was an intuitive energy space. And Frank is an author and he writes all these books from Archangel Uriel as his muse, right? So very spiritual. But as men, you're right, I never think of it that way, right? You always think of the women. So I don't know why we do that.
Probably because for many years it's been a patriarch society. Prior to that, it was matriarchal, but it has shifted. People say that it is moving in the other direction where there will be things more in synchronicity. We'll see.
But men also hold back. Half the things that I know about Paul now, there's a lot more.
And how about Frank with his anointings?
Frank is on another planet. That goes beyond.
Frank brings angels with him, and it just blows my mind that here they fly around.
And not only that, but the way he interacts and then he affects other people, it's I've never seen this.
Here's the thing to consider. If you are open to that higher realm, even if you don't understand it, even if you don't know the names of your angels, even if you're not aware that you have guides, even if you've never felt that you had an intuitive thought in your life, but you're open to it, you allow that information to come in.
How do people get in touch with you for booking corporate events, speaking, even just, is this a good job for me, psychic reading?
Probably the easiest is the phone number, which is 561-755-2166. But I am all over social media. I do have a website. It's my name, HallieElise.com. It's not structured so that it just looks like, oh, this is a speaker page. It's structured so that you get to see all of what I do.
Well, I'm glad we had the opportunity to create that commercial because now I can understand the depth of what you are working with.
Thank you.
You can touch many lives instead of, is this the right job for me? When am I going to get married? How many kids am I going to have?
I mean, listen, that's important too. The individual needs to be respected and honored, and if something's going on in their life, you definitely want to help them. However, it is amazing to me when somebody comes in a group environment and has a question, and the next thing you know, 30 other people have questions. And each person learns from the other because, again, when you're open in that environment, the information that comes through is relevant for more than just the individual asking a question.
It's like yoga. When you take it from the mat to the real world, or meditation, when you learn to practice and then you're able to apply it to your life. And walk
Yes.
through
Like
it with a
yoga?
little bit more empowerment. Yoga, they always say, or meditation. When you sit in that moment, or Hallie gives a reading, or you're meditating, you're in that moment. But when you can take the practice out into your regular day and breathe and flow, put on the red lipstick, whatever it is, meditate and say, all right, the next thing I'm going to do is create a support group. You're now taking it from your mat, for example, to the
Well,
world.
now I understand why I look at her and I think of Twisted Sister because I'm all over the place. I got it.
But that's your normal state.
Contact Hallie Elise for more
You bring it out.
information. But I'm really excited that Hallie's here because then I got to bring in Frank. And when Frank came, Paul came. When Frank came, Paola came. So Frank Ruffolo, our in-house angel bringer. Angel bringer.
I love that.
He brings these angels. So the other day he brings an archangel, Gabriel. And then he says to me this week, say hi to Gabriel. And then all these guests come in and an unknown friend, right? And so I say to this unknown friend, and what is your name? Gabriel. I said, how long, when are we going to see you
that's a
again?
true
When are
story.
you coming back? He says, oh no, I'm just here from LA for the day. Literally, it was an hour after Frank says to me, say hello to Gabriel. So the angels do have a sense of humor.
It's funny because the artist she's talking about brought behind that door are the two paintings who are going to hang.
The ones we showed you.
And Gabriel was actually here, and he didn't know why he was here. He was just here for his artist friend.
Are you an artist? Nope. You an author?
Nope.
Nope.
Why
Do you know
are you
these
here?
people?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know half these people he told.
Love
me.
Like, I just came in and I'm here, which made it even funnier because we did not even know he was coming.
Yeah.
So Frank, how do you do that?
How do I do that?
Two quick, easy
It's all up
lessons.
to you now.
Frank, how's your quickie? How do you do that? But
You have to, like Hallie said, you have to open yourself up and accept and want your angels to speak with you. And that's how I started. I opened myself up. You meditate. Basically, you meditate in a quiet, someplace alone in the quiet, in the dark. Empty your mind and just ask if there's if what your angels are, who they are, and eventually a name will come to you. I have two guardian angels. The names are David and Jason. And I discovered through a prophet who was she used to channel, shouldn't say channel, she used to give the messages from the Virgin Mary at her house in Hollywood back in the late 90s and into 2000s.
I know her. I know exactly who you're
Rosa.
talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
wife
gosh.
and I- my
Going
wife
back
and I-
many years
My
ago.
wife and I were volunteers there.
Okay. I was very friendly with her.
And you knew her. Yes. Then see?
It's Bisheret, meant to be.
Sure. And,
It's what?
For sure.
Bisheret, meant to be.
She told me my archangel was, my particular archangel was Uriel, who was the archangel of writers and journalists. And along with him came Gabriel. And that's where I get most of my when I do my faith-based writing. That's where my inspiration comes from. It's from those two archangels, and they're with me all the time.
Well, I want to switch gears on this because we've talked about the books, we talked about angels. I want to switch gears about the impact that having this knowledge has opened you up. And I look on the table, and you have all these books, and there's another one up here. You have the gift of writing and these books, and they come from different backgrounds. Some tell a story, some are fictional, which really we're beginning to find out there isn't too much fiction in it. There's a lot of nonfiction, and there's a message in all this. I want you to talk about how you have the courage over the years to do what you do, because ever since you've been on the set, more and more people are coming to me about wanting to get this courage to write books. It happened all week.
Yep,
It's
even
been last
Sally's
week.
rewriting a book.
Everybody is all of a sudden has the word, and I'm saying, where did this come from? I saw that guy Frank, and I look at the thing Frank does, and they want to be able to do this. It doesn't mean they can't. I'm not saying that. I get that, but I want you to talk a little bit about all the energies that you have, all the writings. Do they come to you and tell you what to write, how to write, the thoughts?
I get the stories in my head first. I get a basic storyline. I write fiction, so I get a basic storyline of what I want to say and what comes to my mind. And the funny thing is, I don't know where that story is going to go. I know what I want to say. I know how I want to produce the story, what my storyline is going to be. I don't know how I'm going to get to the end. I don't know how many, it changes as I go along because the characters take over when I write.
So you don't
My
have
character.
any knowledge of how it's going to end, how
I have
you're
no
going to
idea.
get there.
I know I know. If I take a mystery story, I know I pick the mystery what I want to portray, and I know who the protagonist and antagonists are going to be. I don't know how they're going to react in the story to get to the end.
It
It can
evolves.
change 2 or 3 different times as I'm writing. Sometimes I write, and then I don't like to change the whole thing and start all, and I change it.
But you
It
also
depends how
inspire.
it
Love
depends
that.
what the characters tell me to do.
But you inspire others to, like you, Hallie, tap into your intuition, but you do it in a different way. But you are a known psychic mind mentor, right? This is what you do. Frank is essentially an author, but yet
But
there's
yet
more to what you do.
I
Right.
like to put a message in my stories. So I'm giving a message without the reader knowing they're getting a message.
But are you known in the circles as the message delivery guy?
No.
Okay, so you're very quiet. This is probably the most you've ever been letting on, because the things that he does, which we'll talk about, I didn't know he did that. I thought he just wrote books. All of a sudden, that's just a small part of what he really does. It's the same thing with her. I still remember the first day I met her. And it changes people's lives as you're going along. I mean, you're aware of that, right?
I am become aware of that.
Okay, so you know who our guest is on Friday, as you told me, how you and Hallie both know? Here's our guest on Friday who reached out to us. I don't know how they found us. Dr. Marianne Rosa. Now, totally a different person, I know. Just like
But it's
Gabriel
the
was
name.
a different Gabriel. But here we go. I mean, it's whatever you are bringing, who you bring, and you don't say, oh, send Dawn messages. They just, But I
find
guess
it
I have to
amazing
see
that
the messages.
Hallie knows Rosa.
Oh,
That's amazing.
There's stories that she will. There are stories, things that she does are even more amazing. I went and then did some computer work with her at her building.
You just love that, don't you?
I've never seen anything like that. I've been doing this over 20 years, and my computer shut off. So she said, that happens. And I look at her and said, now I have a great computer. It's expensive. She says, go over there, and it'll go back on. I said, Hallie, there must be something wrong with my computer. It's never done that. It wouldn't turn back on, remember? I went over there, and the damn thing went back on. So I don't know what's going on over
Well,
here.
the same thing happened. We were loading your commercial in before you got here. And I had it. I was trying to download it. I was trying to send it over for 30 minutes. That's why you saw us not out here.
Well, that I didn't
And
know.
then Freddie says, the internet went down. I said, no, it didn't. The music is still playing. Now, all the kids had internet.
This went down.
The music was playing.
But not the Wi-Fi internet, and they're both on the same link. And I said, just give it a minute.
And it was uploading your commercial.
But what's striking here with Frank is that you do things, and I was told that you become more aware of the things that you're doing, and is beginning to escalate some of the things that you're supposed to be telling us.
It's beginning to escalate.
Well, speaking of escalating, about a month ago, he sends me a message in Messenger at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking, this is a hack. Why would Frank send me a message on Messenger at 6 o'clock in the morning? Good morning. I have someone for you to meet. I'm like, it's not Frank. Sure enough, it was Frank, and he wanted me to meet Paola.
I love it.
And I said, and then Paola says to me, I'm on the phone with her. Chelsea's moving this day. We're moving her in. And she says, I just want you to know I'm kooky and I'm crazy and I'm totally out there. Paola, I want you to know I think you're totally normal within the realm of what we do.
I was going to say she fits in with everybody else.
100%. But Frank, I want you to introduce Paola and how you know her. And this is amazing because we've got a couture line, a new line of beautiful fabrics and couture for every woman to partake in. How did you both even meet?
I met Paola at one of her fashion shows in Miami years ago. I don't know how many years ago that was. And it was,
I think she has Mike Sticks, Alana.
she's magical. She's wonderful. If she's here to, if you have picked her to show women empowerment, you put the right person.
I gotta
Fantastic.
ask Paola a question. What is the name of the place, Fort Lauderdale, where all the strips are?
Las Olas?
Las Olas. Was she ever in Las Olas?
I don't know. We have to ask her. She's had a few lines of.
Paola, have you ever been in Las Olas? You had a store there?
No, but I have been there, yes. I haven't had.
She's on.
She's on 6.
Have you ever been in somebody else's store down towards the end of Las Olas?
Yes, there's Zola.
I met, yes.
Were you at Zola?
Yeah, well, I haven't met her personally, but I've been in her shop.
Paola, I
This is
met
years and
you.
years ago.
I
It's
met
beautiful.
you 11 years ago, 12 years ago. I went to meet you. We were going to do a show. I went all the way down there and I met you, and I wanted to do
yes.
something. You remember this?
I do now.
I went
That's pretty
there
funny.
and we talked for about 2 hours. And I'm saying to
good
myself,
Lord, poor guy.
that name is so different. And you were down in Las Olas, but you didn't have a brick and mortar, so we had to sort of work through the raindrops, and it never came off because that place was always busy.
Oh, yes.
Remember? And
Very,
she used to do the clothes and everything. Oh my, and I'm saying to myself, I know this woman.
And there you have it.
It's, it's just a complete circle. Life is a complete circle. I know you. I think you're on Instagram, aren't you, Hallie?
I am. And I was
Well, I
thinking when we
follow
ran
you.
into each other at the door, I'm thinking you would look very familiar as I was trying to run in and get
I
organized.
follow you
Oh, gee, that's so
religiously, yes.
funny. Well, it's nice to meet you in person.
Same here.
Paul keeps smiling.
I love it.
It's
I
crazy.
love it.
It's just the way life is, right?
But it's connections. I think we just have to pay more attention
Have you ever
to
been
them.
to the apparition site
No, I haven't.
with Rosa?
No.
More to
And
come.
I totally believe in angels. Totally.
Tell us about your line.
My line. Oh, my lines.
Your lines.
Yes. Well, I've been doing this for so long. I mean, I don't even know how many lines I have. I'm always thinking of something new, a bit like Frank. I have no idea what I'm doing. It comes in my head, and then I carry on from there. But at the moment, I'm doing my what I call Sorites, and that is to help teach people about color, fabric, that you can have couture, You don't have to spend ridiculous amounts. That's always been my dream, is to try and teach people to appreciate couture. It's not this thing that costs thousands and thousands of dollars. I love fabric, and also I'm a therapist as well, in the UK, not here. So I've learned a lot about color, and I believe that color is very healing. Absolutely. It has so much meaning for both male and female, not just women. And why do you love a color? Why do you hate a color? It's good to go within and try and figure that out. Oh, that's interesting, because it's just a color. But in fact, today I've deliberately put my canvas on, which is black and white, so that I can, just show a little bit of color, how it can transform everything. It transforms your skin. It makes you feel good. It's rather like music. Music can make you feel very sad and make you feel very happy. The same thing with color.
And they're made with beautiful fabrics. And these aren't just fabrics that you pick up at a store. You design these fabrics.
I design them, and also I get from Switzerland and Italy fabrics that I love. I've been working with them for about 35 years now. So I get the pick that I like. And I love the flow of fabric. It's got to flow. It's got to give me pleasure. I really don't have a clue what I'm talking about here, because it's my first time. So I humbly apologize.
Tell me about color. Actually, when you told me you were coming, I said to Paola, I want you to meet Hallie Elise, because I was thinking of your commercial. Didn't I tell you that? That's why you're here today. About flow and the way you dress, and all of the clips that we did of you, you have very flowy clothes. And so you're the first person I thought of when she talks about clothes and fabric flowing. So I'm glad that you guys actually follow each other.
Well, I mean, I didn't realize
That's pretty neat.
until you were sitting there, and I went, I know you. And yes, life is about flow.
It is. And what you're saying about color is so apropos, because as we know, each color has a particular vibration and frequency it puts out into the world. And so we could say, for instance, red makes someone happy. However, they might hate red because
Yes,
it
and they might
brings
feel
up
very
discomfort
angry
and
about
anger.
it, yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. So I
And
love that.
Don't you find that with color, like for me, for instance, I had favorite colors as I've grown, and they've changed. And it's been important to where I was at that moment in time. It's helped
Agreed.
me get through that. I mean, I do have my
Agreed.
particular ones, like in my bedroom or my pillows, but what I wear, apart from red lipstick, red lipstick, red nail polish, I'll always do that. But the accents, and if I put something bold on, what does it mean? What are you drawn to? But it's also important to know what you dislike, because why?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then you can find the adventure within and find out, oh, that's why I don't like that. And invariably, with time, you start to like it, because you've let go of that belief or fear or whatever connotation that color had.
It was like red lipstick was only a Saturday night thing, right? If you were going out on a hot date, or even with your significant other, you could wear red lipstick, but you would never wear it during the day, certainly not to the grocery store.
Oh, good Lord, no.
But
I mean,
but
plus,
Unless you wanted to be a harlot.
But yeah,
I was
things
going to say that. I was
changed,
gonna
right?
say
That
you were
was
termed
years
a
ago.
hussy, you know?
I met a lot of women that wear red lipsticks to the grocery store.
But I think
It's
now
different
it's okay.
nowadays than it was 30
Well, let me
years
ask
ago.
you, because
even.
you're right. Color is flow. And business, guys wear very expensive suits,
Exactly.
nice colors, because they want to, it's about the delivery. You want to send a message before you walk in the room. Same thing with color with women. Women have an advantage because sometimes a woman can look appealing. And I think a guy probably will notice it before a girl, even though that's beginning to change as well. Hair, the color of the hair, eye makeup, the whole nine, the way it's going on right now, the game has changed, because after COVID, everybody's running to that spot that they want to do more. They want to be noticed, because a lot of people aren't there anymore. Businesses, spots, new people coming down. We got a whole new bunch of people that are watching the show. The numbers went like this, and then they went like this. You see what Roku is doing. We're going to hit 1 million people by next week.
What I love about this line is I think more people now are staying home. Even Monday, you're teasing me about the holidays. So if I've got 15, 20 people coming to my house versus me going out for dinner on a Saturday night, I want to be able to put on one of her sarites and say, I can wear whatever I'm wearing, I can still serve, I can still put out food, but yet feel a little bit special and not have to go, oh my gosh, I got to go change, I can't wear
You're
this.
going to wear
'cause I've
red
got-
lipstick?
Oh, red lipstick?
On Monday.
I mean,
Why
no,
not? I wear it
no.
every day here.
But the thing with the sarites, the reason that behind it originally was that, I mean, in England, you go to work just like here. You're going off to work, then you're invited somewhere to go, and you go, oh goodness, you know, I'm already staying here. It's 7 o'clock in the evening. What am I going to do? I've got my lovely shoes in my bag, and you have another bag with the sarite, and you just design something. And you can have a dress, you can have a skirt, you can have a top, you can have a shawl, whatever you like. And it only takes a small space within, like these, for instance. This is one of my favorites. You see
Hallie,
the
go
flow
Beautiful.
of this? Isn't it gorgeous?
Go model.
And this is very you, by
You
the
want me
way.
to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then we're going to talk to Paul so we can get everything in our hour that we have. So just show Hallie how you would do this real quickly. I know you're might have to put the mic down, but we'll talk over us. And this is a
I mean,
beautiful
this is
piece
just
of floral
the simple
fabric.
way. The simple, oh.
No,
very
you're not in Saudi Arabia.
And you
Just
can
take it
do
easy.
So she's demonstrating for everyone that's
gonna put
kind
this
of
down.
listening how to
May
write.
I?
You can put it down. We'll talk over it. It's a beautiful. I wonder if you were like a seamstress in a past life or created like clothing for the czar.
Is this for men too, or just for women?
Yes, Paul, you can wear it.
Equal opportunity sarites.
So I'm just sitting here. Where's our end? You know.
But see, this is like it's a beautiful. It looks like a piece of fabric, and how she can wrap this and then make it look a layered look.
Paul, you get to hold your wife's hand when she wears it.
Got it. So it's
So
almost
then
like
you-
wearing it myself.
That's
I
right. Then
guess.
you have to. No, then you got to
Yeah.
match up because she's about to get, hottie.
Well, if it's on a top like that, then I could wear a skirt or some kind of on the bottom. I
But maybe
guess,
she'll
to
come up
match.
with a line of what do they call pocket squares,
Yeah.
ties. So when you go to an event, right? Did you used to go out with your wife and the pocket square would match her dress, the color?
No, I never did that. I've never heard of that, but that's interesting. Have
Why-
you
I
ever
never
done
did it
that?
because I'm not a suit guy.
You have?
Yeah.
I have never heard of that. That's interesting.
So
You
at
did
least, yeah. Or the tie and the pocket square. Like if I wore a red dress to one of
that?
the
A
kids'
tie
events.
and a pocket square, but not the wife's
So
dress.
if I wore a red dress and it was a big event, I would have Chuck wear a red pocket square. Aaron would wear a red tie if it was a family event to tie it all together.
Wow. I'm amazed. I never heard of that.
Frank's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So this way it ties it all together. You take pictures. You've got this whole nice look. People know you're together. And now she's trying on another outfit. I'm so glad Hallie's here to model. And they're still talking on the outside. So while they're talking and getting dressed, you can check all of this line of clothing at Zamboni
See, that I like.
Couture. You like that,
I
with
like.
the
See the, with the
floral?
flowers? Yes, because it's a leader.
What do you mean it's a leader?
It has the flowers leading
Flowers?
to her right.
At the lotus. So it's like meditation. These
Very
fabrics
nice.
are spectacular. Well, while Paula's dressing Hallie,
With Paula's
let's
country, you know?
talk to Paul. I don't know if
Paul.
we have a camera on Paul, but see if we can switch a camera
We
over to
don't,
Paul.
but I could
'cause I know we
talk.
have about 5 minutes left on Luhu. That is stunning. And she's going to keep going. Paul, you had a nice show last night. We're going to continue with the clothing on the other side of the 1 o'clock hour, but I want to get Luhu in. It's season. People are starting to come down after the Jewish holidays, of course.
It's always the time.
But this is kind of be your busy season to get our snowbirds down, to get families talking to their parents that are in Florida. Say, let's take a look now at long-term care insurance. Let's take a look at, do we need a reverse mortgage? How to bring more money into mom and dad to get them extra help.
You know, we could say it's a great time to talk, but as I see with a lot of families, the older generation, they don't want to talk. You know, they want to keep everything a secret, whether they're embarrassed because they're running out of money, they're embarrassed about their health declining, and the adult children see it, and they try to start the conversation, but they can't get anywhere. And that's exactly what happened to me years ago, trying to get that involved with my own parents. And I've realized that every time that somebody wants to hire me or says, can you come out and just do that consultation, that I get the parents to talk. It's not this superpower that I have, it's a third party coming in and making them aware that you really need to talk about this, your kids aren't wrong, and maybe, you know, take the kids out of the room and I speak directly to the parents and say, okay, you know, we really need to talk about this. you're getting to that point where care might be needed, and it's going to get really expensive.
Well,
And
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think this week or next week they're going to come out with the Fed. They're going to come out with what they're going to do, and everything is indicating they're going to go up 3/4 of a point. And all of that aside, the psychology behind bringing up to try to keep us out of inflation without putting us in a recession, there are certain moves right now for seniors. You're going to have to make a move now. If you don't make a move now, and these things don't work, they're going to end up putting us in a recession. Then it's going to be even more difficult. I mean, interest rates are going north of 18%.
Right.
I remember when interest rates were 22%.
Yeah.
Try selling a mortgage with a 22% interest rate. This is ridiculous for credit cards. I think that the move is now. You're right. I don't think it's talk time. I think it's let's get together and do something time before it gets expensive to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, again, no one knows where we're going with interest rates. Was the housing market going to go up, down, sideways? And I every day I'm dealing with it, because when the market was going crazy, people didn't want to buy. I had plenty of people coming down from New York, because I also do sell homes. They didn't want to buy because, the market's too high. Now we're at that point where I'm getting sellers. They're nervous because they still want these high prices, and they're not there anymore. So as things change by 5 to 10%, absolutely. So, and things are sitting on the market. So is it a good time to talk to your family, maybe sell the house, maybe do a reverse mortgage? There's options out there where to find the money, and that's kind of what I do. I go out, meet with the families, let's talk about everything. And if we can talk about everything and put it on paper, then come up with a plan. And that plan might be for today or tomorrow. Crisis mode's a big part of my business, is that it's already happening. It's not like, okay, we'll wait for it to happen. It's happening right now, and we have to plan accordingly immediately.
Because you need to get to the money, right? We talked about this last night. Your investments can go up and down, but when you need that money, because mom and dad can't wait for the bills or to move them. And Paul can help you in Florida, potentially with Medicaid, potentially with VA benefits, reverse mortgage, even placement options to change.
Yeah, I have people that I work with, so I come in and have the conversation. I'm not a licensed mortgage broker. I'm a licensed real estate agent, broker. I'm a licensed insurance agent. We talk about life insurance, long-term care, annuities, the good ones, the bad ones. I'm a licensed assisted living administrator, so I could talk about assisted livings and independent, the difference between them. But then I bring other people in, like the reverse mortgage person. I bring in the senior placement person to talk to you maybe more about what the best place is for your loved one. And no one wants to go to a nursing home, but we talk about that too, because if somebody goes to a rehab, then they might end up staying there, and it's switched from short-term to long-term.
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to pay for that at $9,000, $10,000 to $13,000, $14,000 a month, depending upon where you're going to go?
How do people reach you?
My phone number is 954-540-6609, or you can go to my website, luhuadvisors.com.
And what I like is in the game, when I was in the game, there was always a bunch of us that were long-term adjusters. We made long-term decisions. He does long and short-term.
Now's
His
the time.
adjustment, he's a short-term adjustment. So now is the time to take advantage of it.
So everyone who's coming in from New York, New Jersey, the Northeast, you've got family down here. Hi, Cece. Good to see you. He'll be here tomorrow night.
Yes, he will.
Contact Paul. Check out Frank A. Ruffolo on his website. Purchase all his books. HallieElise.com and Zaboni Couture. On the other side of this commercial break, we're going to come back and see different ideas on the fabric. More to come with all these conversations. New York, New Jersey, thank you for having us. We'll see you next week.
When it comes to investigative services, you can't settle for inattentive or irresponsible services. PI Network of Florida is a firm that you can rely on for actionable insight for personal or professional matters. From surveillance and insurance claims to background checks and identity theft, the investigative services are extensive. With over 30 years experience and 2 decades of serving the community, PI Network of Florida is trustworthy and reliable. Call today at 786-768-4394. Trust your gut. Trust PI Network of Florida.
Amy Reshevsky can help you choose the right piece that will add some magic to your space. Amy Reshevsky has a wide range of art, from abstracts to mosaic tapestries, and she paints on different surfaces, such as reverse painting on glass, tables, wall hangings, and sculptures. Her work can be ordered online at amyrashevsky.com, or you can come in and see it in real time at the Brooklyn Cafe Art Gallery. She also does commission work, so if you have an idea in mind, she can make it a reality. She invites you to reach out to her at Facebook or at email at amyrashevsky@gmail.com. That's amyrashevsky@gmail.com. Have an artful day. Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40-plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come on down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
Hey travelers, everybody wants cheap airfares, but where can you find them? You call Smart Fares. Our prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low they're not published anywhere. Smart Fares specializes in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rentals, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, Smart Fares can help you get there cheaply and with the best price guarantee. If you want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call us right now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these low rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the lowest rates available, so don't wait. Call Smart Fares right now for the best price guaranteed. Save up to 50% off business and first class. We've got great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 855-828-0198. That's 855-828-0198. 855-828-0198.
If your family is suffering from inflation and high costs caused by Lois Frankel's reckless policies, Republican Dan Franzese is clearly your best choice for Congress. Dan is a successful businessman who understands finance and economics. He's not a politician. Dan grew up blue collar and knows how tough inflation is on working families. Dan Franzese will go to Washington and fight the liberals who are killing us with inflation. Dan Franzese for Congress.
I'm Dan Franzese and I approve this message.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Hello
and welcome to this segment of Brooklyn Cafe News. I am your host, Joshua Martin, for this special segment. And I promise you, everyone out there will have good news for you today and nothing bad. Oh, and actually, happy Hump Day to all you Hump Dayers out there. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but happy Hump Day. If we can pull up that first image and we can get to our first news story of the day. Southwest Airlines workers looked after a passenger's pet fish named Theo, a betta fish, for 4 months after it was banned from flying. There's text messages up there. We can't really see it, but they were actually text messaging the people asking how Theo the fish was doing, and they said he's doing all good, which is good to hear. In other news, Cardi B donates $100,000 to her old middle school in the Bronx from Today News. She says, stay out of the streets or in a troubled home. She wants to help the students there. And she says she's trying to, she's trying to help them out. I'm new to this. I'm sorry out there. I'm trying my best. In other news, an elementary school makes parents laugh with some carpool lane and celebrity-inspired signs. You can see one right there with MC Hammer. It says, can't park here. Don't really understand that one. There's another one actually up if you want to pull that one. That one's a little better. Don't go block and drop off lanes. A little TLC action right there. To end this little segment, we have weather for this week in South Florida. And I know it's supposed to be happy good news, but 70% chance of humidity all week, and it's probably going to be a rainy week, which, what you going to do? But this has been the segment of Brooklyn Cafe News. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back sometime this week. I don't know. Thank you. Woo!
Nice. And there you have it.
Notice that they put a desk underneath him.
Brooklyn Cafe Show News. SNL?
Now we're gonna put Josh is going to be in a helicopter in our next segment of the news. He's gonna do it from the sky. So he's gonna be, you'll hear the, you understand. So he's gonna be in a helicopter the next time out.
See that? You challenged me this morning. And there you have it.
I didn't challenge you.
You said, let me see how you're going to get them to bring up segments.
Oh, okay. I challenged them.
And there you have it.
And there you have it.
So, welcome back to our 1 o'clock hour. We've got more to come. We had a jam-packed 12 o'clock hour, but don't think we forgot you. We're going to bring everyone back on and talk more. But Frank, I have to tell you, during commercial break, I say to Freddie, who's the archangel with the harp? And he's texting, he goes, I don't know. So I look it up. Which archangel has a harp? Uriel. So, say hello.
You said harp or heart?
Harp.
Oh, I heard heart.
Harp.
I said ask Frank.
He said ask Frank. And Frank was talking to Paul, so I look it up. So Uriel is right here with us today.
Is that the only archangel that has a harp? That has a...
That's the one, I guess, that is known for carrying the harp.
There's 200 archangels. There's 7 major ones. Who knows? I don't know.
I do not know.
Now, I'm under the understanding you're finishing a book. Did you finish it?
3/4 of the way through, about 60,000 words.
And this has to do with one of the books that you have written before, a trilogy or something, or is it separate?
It corrects a cliffhanger that I left in another book. Zeta Terra is ended in a cliffhanger, and now I'm resolving that cliffhanger in the new book.
Now, Hadley, what you don't know is that what Frank writes years ago actually happened or happening. And he sort of scares the wee-wee out of me, because I was looking in the news, there's some real scary stuff going on in Europe right now. And I have always been, as a Catholic, I was always taught that in that region of the earth that they're talking about all this stuff happening is where...
That's where it's going to come from.
That's where it's going to come from. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And this morning I saw that the madman has gone, he's put himself in a corner and he's talking all this gibberish about using nuclear weapons and everything else. So it's a real scary time what's going on around us. And I just wanted to know if you got a hint or a sniffle of something to write about in that direction.
Well, I think I already wrote about it in that direction. That was in my first book.
And
And
what
that
was
was
the name?
the Gabriel's Chalice. That was the days leading up to Judgment Day.
Don't look at
So-
me that way.
We're fast approaching. Let's just say that. It's, yeah, we're heading to the Great Judgment very soon.
Does that scare you?
No,
Should it be alarming to people?
no. Well, depends
Depends
on where
who
your
you
mind.
are.
Depends on where your mindset is. Depends if you choose wisely or not. But it shouldn't scare you. It's not going away. I mean, Earth is not going to dissolve away. It's just going to be a new enlightenment and a change. It's going to be a reset.
Yeah, well, you had 2 world wars, right? That and Korean War. You had 2 world wars that involved everybody.
Make that a 2-shot.
But back in those days, it wasn't as significant as it is today.
Put 3 on them and put Paul
Now,
and Frank together.
stuff can really hurt a lot of people.
Now it can get intense real quick.
Yeah. So, having a world with nobody in it, or having a world with 3 people in it, is pretty devastating stuff.
Devastating stuff.
So
I don't think it's going to reach that point, but there's going to be a reset.
What do you think about a reset?
Listen, I thought COVID was a reset. We talked about that too. I thought the people would change. From what I see, people have gotten worse. But
COVID was just a trial.
yeah, but we
Yeah.
failed miserably.
Yeah, well,
Yes and no. It wasn't about us, though. It was about the powers that be. And they wanted to see how the control can happen, right?
and now they know.
Right? And there were plenty of people that fought it.
And now they know how the control happens.
I think I felt that on the first go round with COVID. Okay, here we are. It's Passover, believe in the Bible, the plagues, the synergy of what that was.
But there's always been plague.
But yet it kept coming because I don't think, obviously, we did not learn our lesson because look at now we've got this war.
We didn't learn our lesson.
Those that did
No.
did, but the vast majority, I don't
You
think
have to remember. You have to remember, whatever freedom you decide to give up, you will never get back.
can't go backwards.
You know, but it's really
You won't get it back.
But it's really funny. You see people dying of a disease. I don't care where it came from, all around you. And then everybody trying to help everybody else survive. To the point that you make a joke about Clorox in your veins, and people are doing that because they want to live. So you see all these people dying. You see all of this stuff happening, and you're doing whatever you can, and then you revert back to just being outrageously stupid over and over again. Over and over again, trying to make people, control people and control their minds and trying to control everything around you. I mean, how does that 1 and 1 equal 2 work?
Well, obviously it's not working. So it's
And it wasn't a disease, it was a virus. Okay?
Yeah.
So we have to understand where it came from and what it was, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a disease.
You
The
know,
flu season's coming up. I mean, there was
All-
no flu last season, and there was no flu the season before. Where
Yeah,
did that
we were
go?
all in quarantine.
Well, where did the flu? There was just no flu?
Oh, I just think it wasn't spread. Well, I think the media.
It wasn't talked about.
And we are part of it. We're focusing on something else. Now that the pandemic is over, we can now throw our masks away, apparently. Now we've got, I'm kidding, don't throw anything away. But now we've got flu season, right? So suddenly that has been reemerged. But Paul's interesting, right? We know Frank, he's coming more, talking more about the angels and things that he sees. And Paul sits and shakes his head. But I'm wondering, what do you think about all of this? Judgment Day, Gabriel's Chalice.
If you asked me this a couple of years ago, I would have thought that it was a bunch of hogwash. But I have a wife and a son they've done research, and that's the biggest thing that people need to do is to do their research, not just from the TV or the newspaper, because that's jaded, we know that, okay, they've come out and said that. But if you do your research, and it's not talking about conspiracy theories, but actually look into, whether you're looking into the Bible, there's things there that are just incredible, and I'm Jewish, and there's just things that are incredible that have been, the story's been told, right? So, you know, history is already mapped out. And as my son says, your book is already written. So in your life, there is a book. You're in whatever chapter in that book, and Frank's here, so we can go with the book. And what's going to happen is going to happen. You want to call it synchronicities. You want to just call it whatever word you want to call it. I believe, and again, it's something that I've just acquired over the last couple of years. I was never a big believer, but I've seen things happen, me personally, and to other people, and it's just how I think now. Meditation has been a big part of my life, going through my parents, going through my dad with dementia, and then passing away, and now dealing with my mom. There was a lot of stress, a lot of guilt, everything that everybody feels dealing with their parents, loved ones, or somebody that's just sick. And everybody handles it differently. I handle it differently than my wife does. She can't handle it as well as I do, and she knows that, and we work on that every day. So it's then bring business into it. And with my business, I deal with all families that have the stress, the guilt, and everything going on. So now, besides having it for my own family, I'm bringing everybody else's into me. And there's some times where I just have to turn the phone off and say, okay, today I can't talk to anybody.
You would have to. And Hallie, I have to bring you into this conversation. You've got parents that are aging.
Correct.
But yet you are a psychic. So do you see what's next, or do you choose not to look?
When it comes to my immediate family, for the most part, I choose not to look. I just allow. Because even if I know what's coming, I'm not going to be able to change their physical standing. They have to experience what they are experiencing. Can I help them? Yes. And my mom would own up to this. She's a worrywart. And no matter what it is, she's worried. So for instance, she had to go for some eye surgery. She had a previous eye surgery that did not work out well. And that said, she didn't want to have the second one. And I said, Mom, you cannot sit in a space of worry and fear. If you do that, you should not have the surgery. Oh, but I don't know what's going to happen. And, it could be bad like the other one. I said, or it could be better than the other one. And the surgeon you're dealing with is someone who actually helped you with the mishap that had taken place with the previous surgery. We could choose to look at what's in your control. What's in your control is how you feel about something. What's in your control is that vibration that you are vibrating at. Do you want to be on a higher plane or a lower plane? So this is where I go. I don't go to prognostication. I go to how can I assist in shifting energy for the people that I love.
But then we can agree that we have the ability to pick and choose what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
In other words, it doesn't matter what anybody influences you to say. We can still pick and choose where we got to go.
Look, I was in the middle of 911 when it took place, and we don't have as much time as I'd like to share all that, but the gist of it is the evening before, I had gotten some feelings. I listened to those feelings. I was on the plane. I was supposed to be landing while the second building was being attacked. I ended up with 5 people who were going into panic that were around me, and I just grabbed all of them and said, come here, let's go here. Sit down, take a breath. I mean, I could go into panic, but what was that going to accomplish? And it was going to add to the mania and add to the hysteria. That wasn't going to accomplish anything.
Correct. It's funny, when Maria hit Puerto Rico, and I went to bury my mother, and I came back, I was at the airport, and there were 15 kids that looked like they were covered in mud from head to toe. And they were trying to figure out how to put them on a plane to send them back to the States. They lost their parents, they lost everybody. There were just 15 random children that were put at the airport, and they had been there for hours. So I was with this guy from Boston who was there 3 days himself, and I was heading back to Florida. Don't ask me why. So I spoke to him and I said, listen, I'm going to give up our seats. I said, we will send 2 of the 15. I got 15 people to come with me to send those kids back.
Oh, nice.
Do you know they found room?
Of course.
I mean, are you kidding me? I think we get the power to choose. So obviously we choose wrong when we choose wrong. We got nobody else to blame but ourselves, right?
But it's bigger than that. It's understanding that we are powerful beings. We
Honey,
are not just flesh and blood.
But you're looking at something I can't see right now. I'm just people accept the fact that they have that power, that you do possess the power. Words like the Bible, other scriptures that have been written, there have been places blown up and killed over written words, over philosophies that were in books. You've seen the murders in France and all that because of how they dictated, they spoke about a Muslim leader. So words are very powerful.
Of course.
And what's happening at my stage of my life right now, I'm beginning to see that there are messengers, there are deliverers that we have to begin to use both ears, not one ear. And again, I will apologize to you on public air because I never got you. I'm being honest. Not that I'm saying something out of line. I just didn't understand Ali Elise's message. I understood Frank's message when I first met him. I said, holy smokes, who is this guy? And now I'm beginning to see things a little bit different. But we got choice. We can pick right from wrong. Okay, we can do that if we decide to do that. So my question to all of you is, and Paul, you're in this in a different way because you're helping people who have to make decisions with their life. Certain kids that won't, my father wouldn't talk to me, but I bet you he would talk to Paul if he was alive. There's choice. You pick your poison.
Well, I think a big part of what the problem is people don't have the self-confidence and understand
Agree.
that they can
Yes,
can make
100%.
those decisions themselves. The mind is a powerful thing, okay? But unfortunately, people are followers, okay? And they just follow what's either in the news or what's going on instead of taking a step back and saying, you know what, I'm making this decision for myself, for my family. This is what I need to do. And I think I've seen that. I don't know how many times over the last 2 or 3 years I've stopped talking to people, whether it's politics or whether it was COVID going through that, because people were just spewing and not really taking that time to really do their research and understand the possibilities.
Correct.
And I think the apex of it was when we ran out of toilet paper. Okay?
Oh, yes.
That was so insane.
When we
wasn't
ran
it?
out of toilet paper, what were people thinking? You know, but that was, I mean, and then between everybody tweeting that Costco just got a shipment in, I mean, so where was the priority? It wasn't about anything but that.
And did anyone really not have toilet paper? Did anyone really get to the point where you did not have a roll of toilet paper to use?
If I run out, I can always run to my dad's house. He stockpiles everything, so we're good.
My father, if he were alive, would say, what do you think they got newspapers for?
Right.
Because in the day, that's what they use.
Go back out to nature.
No,
Come
thank
on.
That's what they use. You know, but Hallie, there may
But
come
no,
a
thank you.
time when
No,
you may have
during
to
that
use
time,
tree bark.
understood.
I mean, there won't be any
Yes.
paper.
Yes.
And Paola, this makes me think of the conversation I had when I first spoke with you about shifting during the pandemic. And you went from making these incredibly elaborate, which you still do on commission, pieces with hand-sewn beadery and lace. You had to have been a seamstress like for a Zara royalty in another lifetime, because what you create is magnificent. To restructuring to get your color and your message out, I want to say to the masses, because it's a price point and it's a message and education that can reach everybody.
Well, I believe after or during the pandemic and everything else that happened, you have to pivot. You know, so many people would say, oh, you know, Paul, I'm just waiting for it to be the way it was. Nothing is ever the way it was. You have to go forward. And then, you know, you go, oh, Paga, this really sucks. And then you think, okay, well, what am I going to do with it? And slowly it comes to you. Again, the angels, things are talking to you. You open the door once you decide to find a solution.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Paula, hold that mic up
Absolutely.
to you.
Oh, right to me. Hello.
You know, it's funny. It's funny because during COVID, businesses that were doing it incorrectly fell to the wayside.
Well, I have to tell you, with clothing, I mean, so many colleagues of mine in Europe and here, but especially Europe, I mean, they went under. I
Yeah,
was so lucky.
But Paula, this is the message. This is what the message was saying. You talk about doing things and redoing and everything else. The message, if you're doing it wrong and it fails, you were doing it wrong. So come back and do it right.
But there's a codicil to that. If you consider the fact that we are all souls and we're all evolving and every experience teaches us something, then perhaps some of us are supposed to do it wrong. And it contributes to mass consciousness and growth. I know that's a little eclectic and out
No,
there.
I'm going to give you that.
Esoteric.
I'm going to give you that. The only problem with that is that I wish there was less wrong and more right. And I think that
Agree.
equation
Well, maybe
right
there
now,
is, but maybe the media at large can't deliver this message to everybody else, right? Can you imagine you and Christine telling the world that you went to Rosa for all these years? Or Hallie talking about the esotericness of the energy. It's a whole lot easier to say, this guy did this, and this is the outcome. But if we all can raise the vibration, and you and I sit here every day, if the pandemic has done anything, it has brought more of this energy in the collective to us.
Yes.
There's a reason that it's here.
and it should be listened to. You know, peanut butter and chocolate. When you take peanut butter and chocolate, you put it on a cracker, unless you taste it and jump into it, nothing's going to happen.
Now I'm hungry. Do you have some of that in the back? I mean,
In our
chocolate
college
peanut butter,
dorm fridge,
come on.
yes.
We can get some. But the bottom line here is you're given an opportunity. You are given an opportunity to make a decision. Forget about the news for a second. They're in it because they sell money. Those commercials are very expensive.
Because it's fear.
And all they're doing is selling eyes.
I haven't watched, and no exaggeration, I have not watched the news in approximately 20 years.
Well, you have to boil your water where you live. I forgot. I was going to
That was
call
5
you.
years ago. That's what you're supposed to
That
boil.
was this morning. There was a water main break. I was going to call you. You got to boil your water. That's because you don't watch the news.
Listen, in all sincerity, I don't watch the news because, A, I found it atrocious. It would be this thing is awful and that thing is awful and this is bad and be afraid of this.
We need
and
good news.
It's fear-mongering. And then, oh, by the way, this person turned 104. Whoa. That does not work for me. And oftentimes when I would see it and they would talk about children, I'd be in tears for the rest of the day. I don't need that. I don't think anybody needs that.
But I think it
But
makes
it's
you
about
stronger.
ratings.
It's exactly what
believe
you
it-
just said,
but
the
it's
negative and the positive.
Based on the individual. And this is why I believe a lot of people are led like sheep because it's who they are. They're afraid to stand up for themselves, or they're uncertain about outcome, and that means that they shouldn't make a choice. You hear the idea of being neutral. Switzerland. And I've heard people say to me, when I say that on occasion, then that's making a choice. Right. In that moment, I'm choosing not to be argumentative. In that moment, I'm choosing not to engage in something negative. Doesn't mean that I don't have an opinion. It just means in that moment, I am choosing to be neutral. But there are so many that they choose that all the time. So they do nothing because they don't feel empowered and they're afraid. And they don't, again, listen to that higher guidance.
Yeah, I don't think it makes people stronger. I think it makes people more in fear. And it dulls our energies down that we're now thinking what the news told us, which is why I'm so glad our crew put together the good news, because that's what we're going to go forward with. Because I don't want to hear at the end there's someone that lived to 104. That should be the beginning.
Yeah,
Right? We should
absolutely.
elevate and
Absolutely.
give people hope and not fear.
Oh, then I'm going to go back to Frank because I don't know what the recipe is for getting rid of negative, hurtful people, people hurting other people, physically, mentally, the whole nine. I saw this morning where a lady and her lover told her husband and 3 kids that she was kidnapped. And it was the lover that hit her with a hockey stick and everything else and made him go 6 months missing. And the town went crazy looking for her. And they discovered, and yesterday she was sentenced to 30 years for making believe she was kidnapped because she had an affair. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Wow.
What is that? So I'm going to bend to you. How do you influence people to do the right thing without forcing them to do that?
You have to make people aware of what power they actually have and control of their lives. Like you said, too many people are sheep, and too many people are going to take the easy way out. Whether the easy way out is legal or illegal, they want to take the easy way out. They do something wrong, they need to confess that they did something wrong, instead of doing 5 more things to cover up the wrong thing that they did. They're taking the easy way out. And people aren't, and you know, I've got to, you know, I believe this, this last generation is probably the stupidest generation since Noah.
Wait a minute. Are you saying Noah was stupid?
What?
So are you saying Noah was stupid?
No, that generation.
I'm teasing. I'm
No.
teasing.
I think they're just misguided.
They're misguided.
They're misguided, yes.
But they have so many things working against them, Frank. They got the wrong influence. They got the wrong leadership. They got the wrong. How in the hell can you have a right mentality when you got 17 wrong things facing you every day?
Freddie, you know what? It's so interesting because today we're surrounded by everybody who comes from that spiritual vein, right? One of the easiest things to do, and I think these gentlemen would agree, is to meditate. And even if you don't know how to meditate, just sitting quietly for even 3 minutes a day and just breathing and being still helps you get grounded, helps you make better choices. But people are so busy running from thing to thing to thing. They have their phone with them when they sleep at night. They don't even turn it off. They put it on their pillow. You're being bombarded with electromagnetic wavelengths. You're not getting enough sleep. If you're not sleeping well and you're not centered, and then you're having to experience all this negativity around you, how are you supposed to function? How are you supposed to think? And yet we have the resources that we need within.
I'll give you the point of not being able to think your way out of a room with a door wide open. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But to hurt someone physically, that doesn't take a brain. That just takes hate.
That's ego and power.
But it's
anger
entitlement.
and-
It's entitlement. They
How-
feel that they are entitled to do what they want
To hurt
when
somebody
they want.
else?
Yes.
To steal a
Yes.
child?
Yes.
Yes.
To beat up on a person?
Unfortunately, it's the same thing with rape. It's been proven.
Well, look
it's
at the
not a
human
sexual
trafficking,
attack.
right? What's happening
They're
with your other
entitled-
brother?
they're people think they can do whatever they want to do because there is a pervasiveness of the acceptance of death in our society.
Okay.
We've accepted death.
So he's going to die. It doesn't matter what it's going to do it anyway.
Right.
So then I ask you, I have to put him down to serve justice. Is that the solution? Then we've learned nothing.
Forgiveness is a solution, which I know sounds totally the opposite end of the spectrum.
But
here.
he continues to do.
Paola, what do you think?
Well, I mean, that's a difficult one. Where you go to forgiveness, it's very important. But people often don't realize the forgiveness is for yourself. It's
Correct.
not for them.
Correct.
You're not condoning what on earth they've done by any means. But if you forgive them, you release a lot of negativity within yourself. And it's a tough one. It's one of the toughest, I think.
Agreed. Agreed. Not easy at all.
For me, I have this belief system that I can't meditate. I've tried and tried and tried, and every now and then I've even facilitated in lots of places and have meditated, but still convinced myself, well, I didn't really, it was only once. But I've learned to stop resisting trying to meditate and just say, okay, well, I can meditate when I'm walking. I can meditate when I'm cutting fabric. That's when I meditate. I get so involved in my fabric. When I'm designing something, I'll throw the fabric on she's called Delilah, is one of my mannequins. And I just throw it on there and I'll just pass her. It might take 2 weeks. But every time I do, I go into another space.
Altered state of consciousness. But see, that's
I'm
what
still-
meditation
yes.
is.
So you can be in the now, so
Yes.
to speak, but that's why people think I'm potty sometimes, because I am in another space. But it helps me to grow. And as for choice, Freddie, we all have choice. I remember with my son, he was little. And I said, well, you have a choice, darling. It's this or that. And he said, Mom, that's not a choice. I said, but it is. I said, sometimes choices suck, but you always have a choice. And it's the same in everyday life. Sometimes they suck. However, as you grow, and maybe 3 years later, you go, oh, well, okay, that was a good choice.
But we've come full circle because
Yes.
that's where we started, yes? What are we choosing? Are we choosing bad? Are we choosing good? Are we choosing negativity? Are we choosing positivity? Are we choosing to be led? Are we choosing to lead ourselves? Comes back to choice.
And again, you're not failing. Because
But
if
I
you
hope the
don't
message
fail,
is, and we're going to take a quick break, that you and I get to share with all of the shows we produce and all of the guests and our family that comes in here all the time to sit with us, that we can change those negative choices and maybe stop clicking on those things that are poison to our minds, that we accept that this is the norm, and if we can all collective energy raise it and start seeing the archangels with the harps or see the bunch of tomatoes and the messages that people send, even in those 3 minutes of meditation on your cutting your fabric or sitting in the car, whatever those minutes are, that as a collective, we can raise the vibration, but we need to bring more awareness to the positive side of it through media. So maybe that's the next platform.
Well, the Eagles summed it up perfectly. They said, we are all prisoners here from our own device.
Oh, yes.
Yes, love it.
Yes. You like that?
Beautiful. I love that.
All right, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Paola, we have to see what you've got Hallie wearing over there. You ladies were so engrossed, we kind of took the camera off, but now we have to come back and take a look at some of these. I have an idea for you when we come back also. Stay tuned. 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422. For no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there. Do you need a strong cup of coffee to get you through your day? Try your very own Brooklyn Cafe Show coffee, the official coffee of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. You can pick up a bag from us, or two. Contact us at 866-224-5422, or just stop on by. We're at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. Come on in, grab a bag of our signature Brooklyn Cafe coffee. The cafe doors are always open.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. Guess what? They want your money and they can take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter right over here that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you right now. So what do? You fight back by letting our team of experts work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And hey, we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws, and we'll fight really hard to save your money. So if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes of your time right now can save you thousands of dollars. And the best part, it's a free call, so please call right now.
Call 800-651-4808.
Has your heater busted, computer crashed, appliance broken? Then you need ARW Home.
Life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with ARW Home. Don't waste thousands of dollars on air conditioning, appliance repair, and replacements. Save that money with ARW Home. Protection plans that cover household appliances, systems, and electronics.
My air conditioning broke on a Sunday. I called ARW, and they came out and fixed it right away.
Get your free quote today. Call or go to ARWHome.com now.
Call 877-281-0289.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, Back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I'm going to do the music
we're
bed
back.
for you. And we're back. Just,
Giving out tickets.
giving out tickets, walking through the raindrop. Should we give out 2 tickets?
Yes. Give out tickets.
Give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A, to give out 2 free tickets to movies of Delray and Lake Worth. We'll even throw in a $10 gift certificate to Schur's Chocolatier, and maybe even dinner?
Yes.
Dinner to Les Sorel, which Hallie says is absolutely delicious.
Monday night, the Sorrel is going to be in the house because JC is going to be singing there Monday night.
She's singing on the 27th, I believe.
Isn't that Monday night?
No.
Don't tell me that. Thursday night. No.
Because Monday night is Rosh Hashanah, so I know JC is not singing at La Sorel. So maybe it's Tuesday.
Oh, so it's Tuesday.
Okay.
But she'll be here. Don't be a wise guy. She'll be here Monday, okay? Because she's going to sing the next day.
Perfect. JC's coming Monday?
Wow, yes.
Nice.
Anybody who wins a free ticket, let me know and I'll send them a free book.
Ah, very
How nice
nice.
is that?
Well, there you go. If you call right now, you get, wow, which one are you going to give them?
Whichever one they want.
Whichever one they want. 15 you got, right? 15 free book, for, and the author will sign it.
I'll sign it.
Very cool.
me
What's
know.
the number?
What's the number?
888.
What's the number?
888-994-4995, Studio A. Yes, if you are not an associate of Ant Media Productions, you are welcome to call from any room in the
Paul
studio.
Is not, Paul can actually win if
That's
somebody
what I'm
in his family
saying.
calls.
Absolutely.
Paul, have somebody call, Paul. You'll win.
All right, I want to check back over to our fashion center, our Couture, Zamboni Couture, in the back of the theater. I think we set up a mic stand so Paola can actually rap and talk at the same time.
Oh.
So we're going to put her mic there so she can tell us a little bit of the work she did with Hallie Elise. Hallie, what do you think of the line of the Couture?
Beautiful.
It's nice, right?
Hallie just told me that my front tire is leaking, which is wonderful.
Not say that exactly.
Yeah, you did.
We just going to get Hallie a mic. So, Paola, you also changed your wrap.
Yes, I did. I did. Just to show what you can do with nothing, so to speak. I'm just wearing a little white t-shirt, and I'm going out to lunch. I'm not, I wish I was, but in all intents and purposes, I'm running out, putting on my nice shoes, and I want to look different. So I just grabbed a Sorite, and I have no idea how to look in it.
Can we
And
put
I
a
have
Bryce
two
please?
Sorites. This one is a little scarf, so it just changes the whole top, and I just put it inside like that. And then I have a little bit more, and then I have this part here, which I tied around. These are about 4 to 5 yards of material that you're playing
That's
with.
one piece that you're wearing?
That's one piece. And sometimes I'll make dresses out of them for myself, out of 2 pieces. So you just play. It's so much fun. You just play with them. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yes.
How did
Okay.
you took the one piece, you tucked it into the white
Yes.
t-shirt?
This piece here, oh, I can see myself. Now I've got a mirror. Okay, so this one here is a little shawl, little
Okay.
scarf. And I'll do that with a jacket or whatever I want. But this one here, I have done here. And then I put it through.
Wow.
Like that. So I will always recommend that if one has a little black or white or any plain color dress that has spaghetti straps. That's really important because then you can play. You can do a strapless, but it's more fun when you have little strap.
And we're going to start talking about how we can teach women to do this. Look how it starts, and then you look
And
how
then
it
you
ends
just
up.
do whatever you want. You can have things like that.
A nice babushka.
Yes. Well, also, you know, the, oh, I've forgotten her name, of Monaco, Princess.
Yes.
Princess Grace. That's
Grace,
very
yes.
much coming back in. For
Very
me,
sophisticated
yes,
look.
very sophisticated, chic and elegant. For me, fashion is constant. And it's just a circle of life, if you will. But style is very personal. It's about you, what you want, who you are. That's where color comes in.
And show us what you have on Hallie. Can we take the lower
Here
third down?
we have,
I don't know if
it's
you're gonna
my
be able to see
grunge
it.
one. It's a grunge piece.
Grunge?
Yes, I do grunge as well in the sense of fabric.
Oh, okay.
So it's a bit funky. So you've got all the different colors coming in, but it goes with the top.
There you go.
And you can have a skirt on, and then you can have that just going across. Or you can take it off.
Hallie, what are you wearing? Pants or skirt?
Pants.
Pants, okay.
Slacks.
And then it just wraps over it.
Yes.
And purple is always your color, Hallie?
I have pretty much every color in the closet.
Oh, okay.
When I'm working, though, I usually have something with purple on.
So that's your color.
It's a holistic color.
It is.
And you can make these into
This is like very European, no? Has
That's
like
me,
a Euro-
yes.
That's Paula, yes.
There's like a European twinge to it.
Yeah, everything I do, but I was born in the Middle East.
Oh,
So
okay.
also I think that helps me loving the color, the bazaars I used to see when I was a kid.
Oh, wonderful.
Now, we just got off the phone with Rochelle from Movies of Del Rey. We're just going to talk to Paula about doing some fashion show at that event that
October 7th,
Eileen
I believe
Lieberman
it
is going to be the MC, no?
Yes.
And I'm working on a female singer there as well. JC, I think, may be the singer.
Nice.
So it's all female again. I guess the
Where
guys
if
have to
you
go
were
to
wearing
another
black.
theater.
So I was thinking, Paula, if you did pocket squares for the men, so you go out with this beautiful woman who's wearing either the purple or the red, and then say
They
Frank,
have something, yes, that
right, and then
matches.
Frank just pops it in his
Great
jacket
idea.
pocket.
Yes,
or
it's
Paul.
a
Great
beautiful
idea.
idea. Very good idea.
Simple.
I like
You
that.
forgot the fabrics, and then you have it for everybody.
Oh yes, and it looks really, it makes a nice,
And Freddie had never heard of a pocket square to match the woman before.
oh, it's beautiful.
Never
I
heard of
love
that.
it.
Aren't you
I
from
love
New
it.
York?
Yeah, we never did that. It
What
was
part
always
of
the
New York are you
tie
from?
and the square.
But think
Style
how,
there.
right? It would be so great to
banana
have one of
and a
the,
coconut.
any of that would be so great and so easy because you already have the fabrics.
Yes, I think that's very good. I'm definitely going to think about that.
Thank you.
That means the guy has to wear a jacket. Gotta be like Frank wearing
But
a
there are
jacket.
times. But look, Frank's wearing a jacket and not a tie. It's a casual suit. Have you seen
Oh,
the
you
men's
don't have to wear a
outfits where they
tie
were
anymore.
short? Men's suits now are shorts with the jacket. Have you seen those? The sports guys brought them out.
Yeah, the athletes wear that.
Even you don't like
Scrunch
it.
up the sleeve, wear a jacket, a tee, and a pair of shorts. But they have to be walking shorts. None of these cutoffs up to
You
you
mean
know
no
where.
underwear shorts?
And Paula, we can
No
layer
Daisy Dukes.
different pieces.
Yes, you can combine these pieces. Like I have this one here, which I just, this reminds me of my childhood. I've called her, I name every single one. This one's called Sahara.
Very pretty, like the desert.
It's beautiful. Yes. And it's very zen because it has the red just going through, which is hand painted.
Wow.
And this doesn't seem like they would go together, but they do. You can have a long skirt of the Sahara.
Oh.
And I'm trying to see what I'm doing. Okay.
She says
Because
that.
it's backwards.
Wait.
And then you have that over.
So you can
Make
pretty
this
much
into
do
a
anything.
top, and
Beautiful.
it blends in with it. So you can mix them all together. Because again, there's an awful lot of fabric. And I do them in different widths. They're all different shapes. And you can have 2 or 3 pieces. And you can make yourself a beautiful long gown.
I love that.
I even do one for a lady a few months ago. She had something similar to this. She had 2 pieces, and then I bunched a piece at the back, so it made a train.
Oh, that's great.
As she had a special do that she wanted. So.
This is really cool if you have like a change of clothing that's required, you know,
Well, the
and
thing
you,
is,
And they're lightweight.
Like you have us all change on Thursday nights and we're so tired and we just don't get to it.
well, these
And
are
but
the
look how easy it
pouches.
is to pack too.
You just wrap it up. The fabric is gorgeous, hand wash, and drip dry.
And
So
drip
it's
dry.
sustainable in the sense you're not harming the environment. So you don't machine wash them. Because when you machine wash, you're harming the environment because you're pulling the fabrics, you're pulling fibers out, which go into the fish and then we eat them. So
No, thanks.
No.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah, that's a
Say,
whole
we
nother
could really
thing.
talk
That's
about
a
that
whole
one
nother-
too, right?
You brought up Thursday night,
Yeah.
7:30. We have CC singing.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Thursday? Holy smokes, I lost the date. But that's important as well because changing of clothing, we want to do something like Soul Train, get the kids out to dance and everything else, but they must be shy. It must be that inner core.
What about the adults dancing? Wait
And
a
I
minute
bet you
here.
can even use it
Will
as
you show
a
up
head wrap,
tomorrow?
right?
When?
Oh, yes.
7:30 tomorrow.
Are you here?
Yeah.
Possibly. Gotta look at the calendar.
Well, you got to come. If,
If
you're gonna,
I don't have a client on the schedule, then
bring
yes.
the client here. They
And
get
think
dance.
about Sister Talk. They've got these beautiful long braids. They're from London via Ghana, Ghana via London. But their braids and their head wrap, imagine being able to wrap in these beautiful fabrics is a whole nother take on it.
There you go.
This is very fashionable
She's
in
going
the
19
UK.
on you.
She's going
There you go,
biker.
nice
What's
try.
biker? She's going
Just need
biker.
a little blue jean jacket and you're all ready to go, right?
Exactly, exactly. They will wear whatever they want to wear that's very, very funky, and they'll put this on.
Josh, I can see you
And they've
wearing it.
already made and big, bold earrings, and they're off to go.
Oh my gosh.
Because you've got to think of economy. This is economical. Not just the fact that it's
very
the
cool.
price, but it's not taking part in your wardrobe. And my sort of dream is to help ladies to go, okay, I've got all these gorgeous things in my wardrobe, but I don't want to wear them, or they don't this or that. Don't throw them out. Put them on, but enhance them. Because that's why I was wearing my jacket. I make jackets that have little lapels, hidden lapels. So you then weave the fabric through.
That'll
What
be
a
the
great
next show. We're
idea.
going to bring those in.
Great idea.
Yeah, well, they're so much fun. The stretch lace and the really gorgeous fun. You don't realize it's there, but if you want to funk it up, you just do that. And these are really popular in the UK and Italy for that matter.
She makes it look easy, but ladies, we're going to teach you how to make it look just as easy and wearable for you as well.
Yes.
I love it. Thank you. Zamboni Couture.
Thank you,
Lovely.
darling.
Thank you. Hallie, I'm so glad you guys got to meet in person.
Same here. I mean, how lovely is that?
That's amazing. And
Now
Paul-
you're going to come tomorrow. You're going to dress all that up.
Yes.
You can dance.
Might just take you up on that. 7:30,
Paul, I have
right?
to ask you a question. As everyone's aging and we're dealing with parents, can we call you when you go in and have the conversation to say, you know what, maybe it's time to start thinking of another living situation when they don't listen to the kids?
Yeah, I mean, third party always works, right? Whether you're doing sales or you're doing anything else, it works with the family. You're bringing in an outsider. I meet a lot of families that don't want to run to an attorney because that's usually their first stop. They're just intimidated. The mother and father don't want to go. I kind of make it a lot easier for the families because I do work with an attorney and I do know a lot about what needs to be done. So let's have that conversation. Let's start that conversation with your loved ones, and that's what I do, and then we'll decide what needs to be done, whether it's the legal documents, whether it's the financial, whether it's the real estate, or getting somebody in as a home care agency to come in and start there with some help. So I would love to have that conversation. It's usually a free consultation, my first meeting. Why not use it?
You have to meditate a lot because I can't
I
even.
do.
You have to clear your mind of all that because it's so much fear, like Hallie said, of what we're going through. Listen, I'm going through it right now with my parents. The fear becomes paralyzing. And when you're the kids, mom and dad don't listen to one, then you got to bring in the sibling, and then the other sibling may or may not participate, but they're still not going to make that change unless the third party comes in and says, listen, I can help you. I can help sell your house. I can help find you the next place to go.
And it's the internet. I mean, again, getting back to what we were talking about before, the internet is dangerous, for many different ways. Yes, it's great that we have all this information that we can reach out and 2 clicks of a button have this information, but I think it's too much information. And it's the same thing, the planning that I do. Everybody wants to Google and find out all this information, but there aren't pages on Google that have that. And there's not a page on Google that brings it all together. And then again, if a lot of the family members are out of state and they're coming into Florida, Florida has its own set of rules. So that's what I'm fluid on. That's what I know is Florida. But I get it all the time saying, well, in New York, we can do this. I said, okay, great, that's New York. But if you want to work down here with your family, work with me, and I know the Florida rules.
And it's also understanding how to work within the system. Things that you can't get away with anywhere else, you can get away with it here. He told me a great story about real estate, which I'll let him tell when he wants to, but that was really nifty, what you did yesterday in changing it for posting the house. So he does real estate. He's really smart at it. I did it for 17 years. I ain't never met a guy as quick to the draw as Paul when it comes to real estate and quarterbacking. I just get amazed, which again, I've always said this, if I had known Paul, my life probably would have been a whole lot less expensive and easier with my parents, because they didn't listen to me either.
But that's our parent side of it. But if we can get it set up in our generation for us, then maybe our kids won't have to be doing what we're trying to do for our
we
parents.
talked about that. There's no such thing as a early age to get started in preparing and sort of getting the information and doing it right. You know, a lot of people say you got to learn a lesson. I get that, but man, learning a lesson can cost you a whole lot of money.
But reverse mortgage, you said what age? 60?
62, you can start. You can either purchase a home with a reverse mortgage, or you can pull the money out of the house starting
You
at
can
62.
purchase a home with a reverse mortgage?
Yeah, I just purchased a home last week. A gentleman, 80 years old, had money in the bank, and he didn't want to have a mortgage. He was selling his smaller condo, wanted to buy a little bigger place up in Port St. Lucie, and he's like, I want to pay cash, I don't want a mortgage. And I said, well, let's go with the reverse mortgage, or it's called a HECM for purchase mortgage, under the same umbrella. So we bought a $450,000 villa up in Port St. Lucie, and he came to the closing with $223,000, and will never make a mortgage payment.
And he doesn't pay a mortgage on the first house?
He sold it.
We're selling the first one.
But you took a reverse on the first house?
No, second house. So we're selling his condo, and he's buying a brand new villa up in Port St. Lucie.
Gotcha.
80 years old, his last home, he said, you know, on the water, beautiful, everything that he wanted. And instead of paying cash for it,
reversed it.
we only put down $223. The bank came with the rest, and they'll never make a mortgage payment. He has to pay his real estate taxes and insurance, but then we'll take the rest of his money and safely invest it, not in the stock market per se, but make sure that that money lasts for the rest of his life.
That's really smart.
Beautiful.
And then when the house
Very
sells, when his kids sell it, the
Right,
bank
and-
doesn't own it. You can actually sell the house.
Correct. People think that now the bank will take it over once he leaves, and there's 2 times when he has to make that decision. When he leaves, either goes to an assisted living or nursing home, or when he sells it. Now, when he sells it, there will be equity left in the house for sure. The house will appreciate, always does. You know, maybe not as crazy as the last 2 years. It'll appreciate. Yes, the interest is accumulating on the backside, okay, but there's still equity in that house because he only put up half, right? So the money he put up is not at jeopardy. And he can, then his heirs could sell the house. What we also do on top of that to avoid any probate, because Florida, in the state of Florida, it's very expensive to go through probate. It's time and it's also money. We put a special deed on the property so that the house will avoid probate and go right to his niece and nephew. That's where he wants his house to go to. So that's all the planning. It's not just a simple, let's figure this out, but there's 5 or 6 things that I touch all the time and I'm looking at to make sure that you're not wasting money down the road. And that's what I'm looking for.
And it gives people options. Hallie, you had a question?
Yes, I want his card.
And
It gives options. That's what's nice to know is, I'm sitting here right now, my brother's texting me, what are we going to do with mom and dad? We have to get them out of this house. And I'm going to get,
Reverse it.
I'm going to bring in, Paul
You
may
tell
never
your
be my
brother
friend
that
again.
you're going to get Paul involved because your parents ain't going to listen to you or your brother.
Exactly why I'm
I can tell
asking
you
Paul.
that right off
and-
the bat.
I should have come over for dinner Monday night.
Come Monday night for
I do
dinner.
holiday dinners.
Puerto
and then,
Rican
you know.
food,
Yeah,
man.
you're across the street from me. Come over Monday for lunch. We'll get
I've
to
seen
meet
my
them.
family for how many years now? It's time to change it up. So, you know.
Exactly. Come on over. The doors are always open. But that's what it's about. And now there's another option.
And I know a little bit of Hallie's story. I tell you, he's a godsend because it alleviates some of the things that you're going through. Because once they get to know him, everybody loves this guy. It's amazing. He's like a drug. Everybody loves him, and they'll tell you, "Okay, get out of the way."
Yeah,
Well,
well,
like
people
you
get in
said.
the way. I mean, that's unfortunately, but the families get in the way. I said, just listen, here's step 1, here's step 2. Don't go to step 4. Do step 1, step 2, step 3. We'll get to step 4. And if everybody, again, just listens, takes their time, takes a deep breath, then we could all figure it out.
How do we reach you? And Lou who?
My phone number is 954-540-6609. And my website is Luhu Advisors, and that's LUHU advisors.com.
Let us help you. Hallie, how do people reach out to you?
561-755-2166 or hallieelise.com.
And Paola?
561-860-6099 or zambonicouture.com and Instagram.
It's lovely. And some new videos are coming, some new runway work. So we're working on putting a commercial together to show how to put some of these pieces together, because as elegant as Paola makes it, when I get home in a closet, I'm going to want to go to a video or a printout to say, where do I tuck? What do I do? How do I layer? And it's for all women, all shapes and sizes, which is amazing.
And also I do personal. So I will go to the home and I'll teach. I love doing that.
Well, that's nice.
That sounds fantastic. And Frank and his Archangels, where do we get your books?
Books on Amazon, Amazon online and Barnes & Noble online. You can contact me through my website, frankarufolo.com, or email frankarufolo@gmail.com.
You know, I wanted to do a book club with Frank and get people involved in a book, but I think it's going to grow into something a little bit more
Spiritual.
deeper. Yeah, I think there are questions to be answered, and I don't know, I got to talk to Frank off the air, but I think it'll be a nice set to be able to have these conversations, especially now.
Agreed.
You know, because you're gonna, like Hallie says, you have a right to pick right or wrong. Don't make a mistake because you think you have. Don't make a bad deal because you think you have to make a deal. And I want to talk to Frank about sort of putting something like that together. And I got the idea from Paul, believe it or not, and the whole group thing.
All how it works together. Thank you all for joining us. WGH
Thank
New
you.
York.
Thank you
every
very
Wednesday
much.
for having us. To our crew, we're a little bit downscaled today, but you guys are spectacular. Have a great Monday, everyone. Stay safe. I think it's going to be 62 degrees in New York this week.
How is it going to be here?
70s, I think. It's going to be a little
78s?
cooler. I don't know. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.